I got the dangly in.
All right.
The dangly is in my ear right now. It's been in it the whole show, and I'm excited, man, because Young Bucks. I talk about Lucha Brothers being my top team, but Young Bucks are a close second. FTR a close third. I mean, those top three teams for sure in the division. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus was supposed to be a triple threat match. AEW didn't announce that. Everyone knows that what happened. We won't talk about that. We'll shine light on the positives that the Super Kick champions are here. The two-time champions, well deserved. I know this match didn't have too much of a build, but I think the Young Bucks are the team to reignite the tag team titles, and they're going to do that with Team Danglies, Team Super Kick, and I thought this match was insane, absolutely incredibly physical. I had everything you would expect in a ladder match, a tables match. Everyone took some huge
You said
bumps.
Tables match, man. It felt like this. I mean, there were a lot of table spots in this match. It was crazy.
Well, when they announced, Christian said about the ladder match, and then when they were coming to the ring and I saw all the tables, I'm like, is this a TLC match, or did I miss a memo or something? Because it was brutal, and everyone went through a table. There were some awesome spots through the tables. The Young Bucks just showed why they are the best in the world and so fun. I didn't see Cold Spray Color there. I was hoping to see he be ringside so he can get some nice shots for BTE, because BTE is always fun to watch on Mondays. But the Young Bucks, I hope that this will start to cause, after Forbidden Door, some inner turmoil with the Undisputed Elite. First they're going to be happy for them and be all excited.
That's a good point.
And then all of a sudden, I think the Young Bucks are going to get more and more cocky and be like, we have the gold, you don't. We're going to move on from you, rub it in their face. So I hope that they go with that direction. And I think that these guys who put on a performance of the night for you as their top performers, I mean,
no doubt about it.
It was brutal, man. It was a brutal match, man, and everything you wanted, and I was just marking out the whole time in a good way.
I like this too, because I remember weeks ago talking about how, man, it felt like the Bucks were kind of like leading into when we were leading into Double or Nothing, I was like, man, like it feels like the Bucks are kind of on the back burner in the tag division, and they've taken a little bit of a back seat, and the Undisputed Elite hasn't been hitting like I thought it would. And, I like that whole time I was like, I love this tag division, but I feel like the tag division is so much better when the Bucks are up front. Like, whether they're the champs or not, like, they need to be at the forefront of the weekly television of this division. I just feel like they're so consistent, SPD.
Yeah.
There was a long stretch when it felt like every Dynamite was opening up with a Young Bucks match.
Oh, and it was great.
And that was some of the best Dynamites. It just, these guys are so good at what they do. I'm so happy to see that they won this. And being transparent too, I think that there's a lot of critics out there who talk about how, they're the EVPs, and so of course they're gonna win the belts and stuff like that. Dude, I'll be honest with you, like, these guys, the success that they have had, they've earned it. They're so talented in the ring. They're so consistent with their performances. They give everything, like in their matches, they give it their all. You can see it.
You're right. They earned every bit of what they had.
Exactly. And these guys bet on themselves. They're creative and hilarious with backstage BTE stuff. And I'm like, the difference here's, I think, the title reign that just ended, the Bucks beating the Jurassic Express. I think this is a perfect microcosm of why I love the Bucks so much. Is Jurassic Express's title reign.
Yeah.
These guys put on some incredible matches, dude. I mean, some of their in-ring work was phenomenal. I mean, their matches across the board, their big title defenses all delivered. And we got to see, I think, Luchasaurus really show out.
As he always has been lately, man. The guy is awesome.
The guy has been killing it.
Yeah.
But their title reign felt kind of uneventful, even though they had huge wins. It felt uneventful and it didn't feel like it had a lot of pop to it. And that's, to me, the difference between a team that's still growing and trying to get to that level and a team that is on their A game. The Bucks are in their absolute prime. There are no flaws in what they do right now. And the Bucks can put on consistent bangers in the ring like Jurassic Express, but they also know how to pull you in as a fan and get you excited from a charisma, from a showmanship standpoint. Their matches, their feuds, their stories feel like they mean something. There's just a little extra oomph on a Young Bucks match than a Jurassic Express match, and that's not a slam on the Jurassic Express.
No.
We're talking about one of the greatest tag teams in modern pro wrestling history. I mean, in the last 20, 30 years, the Young Bucks stand out as a top tier team and a team that has really helped bring tag team wrestling back to the forefront of pro wrestling. So, I mean, like, for me, this is going to hopefully, and you're already seeing Dax trolling this.
Oh my gosh. He makes a good point though. I mean, they've been at the top of the tag team divisions. Why not have the ratings? Why have the rankings for a reason then?
Cass said it really well on a tweet, basically that their reign as the number one contenders is like 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks shy of their entire tag team title reign. So it's like they've been the number one contenders for weeks on end. And again, planting the seeds, FTR versus Bucks. I mean, that is a money feud. And again, going back to the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, when you have stories and you have characters that work that well with each other, it's great to let them diverge, have stories of their own, have feuds of their own, break away from each other for a little while, but then ultimately come back. And because don't let these things die. When you have something that works, when you have characters, then it just builds history. Because a year from now, 2 years from now, if you still have FTR and the Young Bucks in this promotion, why would you not want to continue to build off of that?
You're right, man. You're right.
We saw what happened with before this Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. Those guys have a long history with each other, right? Back and forth. Why would you ignore that history? And I feel like WWE ignores history so much, and that's one of the things I love about when AEW does things right. And this is an example. Like when AEW does things right, they lean into their history. They lean into the relationships and the stories that have been established before this. And I think that the Bucks have so much history in this company that they can go in a bunch of different directions. We just talked about FTR. You made a great point about Undisputed Elite and how that group hasn't been they didn't take the world over. They didn't dominate the AEW like they said they would, but the Bucks now are champs, right? And Red Dragon can start to simmer in like a little bit of jealousy and like an animosity towards that. Kenny Omega's return looms on the horizon. Could you potentially see Kenny Omega and the Bucks against Adam Cole and Red Dragon? How much money would you want to give to see that match, right? So
open my wallet.
The potential is there, and I just feel like the Bucks bring such a new, unique dynamic that I love, and it's a shot in the arm in the tag division. And clearly, we get to see now JB and Luchasaurus. They're going to head off into another story. The story with Christian has a lot of fire behind it. It's so great to see Christian going to be utilized now. He's going to be Christian as a heel is fantastic. And he's going to be able to be a veteran that Jungle Boy can work off of, that I think will really guide him well. And maybe his most important singles feud in his career.
You're right.
I mean, this is a big deal for JB. And
Luchasaurus could be on the shelf for a little bit after that big bump, and then have this feud for a while, and then Jurassic Express can reform, and then carry that along. But man, you nailed it on the head with the Young Bucks stuff, man. Could you imagine in let's say 2, 3, 4 months, or in the near future, AEW Young Bucks are the champs. I mean, wishful thinking, it'd be cool if Jericho was the interim champ, but Moxley interim champ, Wardlow the TNT champ, Thunder Rosa the women's champ, Jade the TBS champ. Like
That's a
those are like,
strong group
yeah.
of champs, dude.
And then
A
Pac,
strong.
the All Atlantic champion. I mean, talk about a family of gold that would be represented well.